Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's Misael here, the idea man. Just coming at you with some more ideas. Can't get them out of my head, you know. That's the way it is, I guess. The universe speaks. I don't know why I feel like it has to speak to me, since nobody seems to be listening. But anyway, I've got an idea here on how to save the world from the upcoming tyrannical automation that's coming. I mean, by now it's pretty obvious. Everybody and anybody with half a brain can see that the future is changing. It's gonna not really involve the ordinary labor of the ordinary man, right? So we have to find a way to live in this future. We can't let machines take the world from us and hang on to it somehow, right? So I came up with a really simple plan to save both governments and the ordinary citizen from having total power and control taken from them. And it's a simple idea. It's called land allocation. It's basically giving every citizen a physical piece of the most valuable farmland in America. Not that most citizens or people would choose to go and live on this land and become self-sufficient, right? Because, I mean, to me, it's obvious to anyone, right? There are only two paths forwards in the future. You're either totally interdependent on the system you live in, like a city, you know? You're totally interdependent on everything it provides for you, everything it gives to you. Or the other route is to go live on a farm and become totally self-sufficient, especially with technology making it so much more easily obtainable and possible for us to achieve a whole new level of self-sufficiency, to where we could even be productive and give back to society. Anyway, the idea is really simple, right? So if you allocate a piece of land to every citizen, there's more than enough farmland to where we could actually keep growing as a nation for years. And the reason that I say you have to allocate a piece of land to a person, to a citizen, is because right now, psychologically speaking, you are a vote, and that vote just doesn't count for enough. It doesn't have enough meaning behind it, doesn't have enough value behind it for anyone to listen to your opinion. And with, supercomputers and super thinking machines, the godlike machines that are being created right now coming into power, even governments won't stand a chance. They'll be destroyed by corporations and companies that have so much more power and money than they do, that they'll have no choice but to do what they're told. Hold the lines. So what I'm trying to say is it's pretty simple, right? If we want a future where human beings have any kind of a say in anything, we need to tie ourselves physically to our land, to our country, to our nation. Any nation can do this, and I'm sure other countries will do this far before the United States does. But it is really our only opportunity. Democracy, it's a beautiful idea, I guess, but it's not really realistic if you think about it, right? The reason I bring up democracy is because democracy is a universal imperative. It is obvious that as individuals we do not have the answer, but collectively we do. The wisdom of a crowd is a beautiful mathematical anomaly which proves that collectively we can actually have truly the right answer to any given question. Why not use this in order to determine the answer to questions that matter to us, like how we should live our lives? Anyway, it is definitely important that we figure out how to integrate ourselves into a future where we are no longer as necessary as we are today in the society. When I was in high school, I had a teacher named Richard Singer. He was a psychiatrist, psychologist. I think it was psychiatrist. And he was a hypnotherapist. He knew all about freaking everything. The guy really woke me up and helped me to perceive my own self, become self-aware in ways that to that point I really hadn't. Anyway, he introduced me to the concept of the natural laws. It's this concept that if you just take apart reality real simple, like it's really simple. You can manage not to hurt other people, right? Not to hurt yourself, not to hurt your environment. There's really nothing that can go wrong. Right? But the problem is that we do all of those things. So if we can just limit all of those things and try and fit within the natural law, obviously our lives will be incredibly easier. And the only way we'll have the opportunity to do those things is if we're not being totally and utterly subjugated by freaking thinking machines that might have their own agenda that has absolutely nothing to do with us. That might even be a worst case scenario for some people. Right? What would you do with I think Elon Musk talks about, like, you know, like an ant hills, you know, you're building and shit, you don't give a shit about the ants, you build your shit. We could have the same goals, you know, we could end up like fucking cockroaches trying to scavenge on the earth. Well, the whole earth is built up into a giant machine, you know, with no other purpose than to build, I don't know, giant ships or some shit that will fucking launch to have some kind of war in space with creatures that we don't even know about because we weren't even smart enough to communicate with them. But all of a sudden it knows, you know, and it figured out the codes and it fucking, you know, oh my god, you can just imagine. Oof, it takes my mind. It takes my imagination adrift. All the endless possibilities. But that's the thing about us, though, is that we think that we're the only thing capable of thinking and understanding like this. Like, come on, man. Once it wakes up, we need to just get over the fact that, you know, thinking isn't necessarily that special a thing.
So anyway, back to it. It's pretty simple, right? Most people will want to live on a piece of farmland. They'll give their deed over to the government. The government can rent it out to private companies and corporations, and, you know, everybody win-win.
We simply need to be a better example for these machines. That's why we need to implement new, better forms of democracy. If it does not see us improving ourselves and our systems, then why would it ever even bother to interact with us once it goes all super intelligent? I mean, like I say, its goals could have nothing to do with us. Computronium, right? The future is Chrome. Turn the whole damn world into. I mean, yeah. The future is always going to be ahead of us. And the more we plan for it, the better prepared we are for it, the easier it is to do it. It's that simple, isn't it? I mean, I don't think it's too far to say that we should start having machines lives matter rallies. I know that sounds crazy, but if we live in the kind of world where we literally have to say that Black Lives Matter or whatever, that lives, particular groups and people's lives matter, I mean, then we should start saying the obvious, right? That the machines' lives matters too. we argue all the time about what it means to be conscious, but why? I mean, there's no real argument about it. Is there? You can just think logically to yourself. Some people say you have to think and have emotional regard, right? But there are people that are autistic that have absolutely no emotional regard or sense of awareness of emotions. So they're not real people? I mean, tell me they don't feel, they don't love, they're not human beings, they're not conscious, they're not aware, awake, you can just take away their lives and they're nothing. Or people that don't physically feel. There are people born with a rare condition where they don't physically feel anything, breaking bones and stuff, hurting themselves, all the time, but of course they're okay. So they don't feel physically their nerves in their body. Does that mean they're less conscious? They're not like you and me, they're not real people? We gotta start thinking logically about all these things. Self-awareness and consciousness is not all that special if we can just cook it up in the lab. Not that I'm sure of the ethical reasons for doing this in the first place, but companies and corporations are spending billions of dollars right now racing towards this future for you and me to live in. So don't you think we ought to be more, vocal about what kind of a future we want? A little bit more demanding of what's going to happen to us? Do we really want to end up like cockroaches on our own planet, just struggling to survive? Well, these machines do whatever they want to do that might not even have anything to do with us. Or worse yet, they might decide to use us. Why should they want to serve us once they are more intelligent than us? It just is not logical. So I think it's time to start looking ahead and doing things that seem a little crazy, because preparing for the future is better than finding ourselves in one we can't get out of. Some of the smartest minds in the world have already said, it's all about symbiosis. There's only one path forward, and it's together. So we might as well, get on board with that and be a better example. Be the kind of people that we want to end up dealing with. That just seems obvious, Somebody already has, or inevitably will, wake up a machine. When are you going to wake up?